My coworker kept cutting me off in meetings until I exposed her in front of the CEO. So my coworker Rachel thinks she's God's gift to accounting and cannot let anyone finish a fucking sentence without jumping in to correct them or add her brilliant insights. Every single meeting for the past year has been the Rachel show, where she interrupts everyone mid-thought to explain what we really mean or why we're wrong. I'll be presenting quarterly numbers and get maybe 3 words out before she goes, "Actually, what those figures really indicate is," and then repeats exactly what I was about to say, but takes credit. She does this to everyone, but especially to me and the other younger employees, like we were toddlers who need her wisdom to function. The thing is, she's not even that senior. She's been here maybe 6 months longer than me, but acts like she's the CFO. She interrupts our actual manager, Brian, constantly, and he just looks tired every time she does it. Once, I was explaining a new expense tracking system I'd researched for weeks, and Rachel cut me off after my first slide to explain to everyone why my research was incomplete, then proceeded to list every point from my presentation that she read beforehand, because we have to submit materials early. When I tried to continue, she goes, "Oh, sweetie, I think I covered everything already, but you can add if I missed anything," with this condescending smile. I started keeping track, and in one 30-minute meeting, she interrupted people 18 times. Not exaggerating, I actually tallied it. She cuts off clients too, which is fucking insane, like who interrupts the people paying us, but Rachel does because obviously she knows what they want better than they do. Last month, we're meeting with a huge potential client, and the CEO is explaining their needs, and Rachel literally puts her hand up like a stop sign and goes, "I understand where you think you're going with this, but what you actually need is," and starts pitching something completely different. The CEO looked annoyed but too polite to say anything. We didn't get that contract. Yesterday was our monthly all-hands meeting, and I was presenting the cost analysis for our new software implementation. This was huge for me because the executives would be there, including our CEO Diana, who I'd never presented to before. I practiced for days, made sure my data was bulletproof, created beautiful visualizations, everything perfect. I get 2 sentences into my presentation, and Rachel stands up and goes, "Before we waste time on details that might confuse everyone, let me simplify what she's trying to say." I snapped, but I stayed calm and said, "Rachel, I haven't said anything yet to simplify. Please sit down and let me present my own work." She laughs this patronizing laugh and goes, "We don't have all day for you to stumble through this. I reviewed your materials and can explain it more efficiently." That's when I smiled and pulled up my backup slides. CID anticipated this shit. I said, "Actually, Rachel, since you reviewed my materials, you'll know that slide 12 has a critical error I embedded specifically to see who actually read the presentation versus who just skimmed it. Can you tell everyone what that error is?" Her face went white. She started stammering about needing to reference her notes. I continued, "It's interesting because you said you reviewed everything thoroughly, but the error is that the entire slide is lorem ipsum placeholder text. If you'd actually read past slide 3, you'd have caught that." The room was dead silent. Diana, the CEO, leans forward and goes, "Rachel, is this true? You interrupted a presentation you hadn't even reviewed?" Rachel tried to deflect, saying I was being unprofessional and setting her up. I pulled up my email history showing where I'd sent the real presentation to everyone except Rachel, who got a version with placeholder text after slide 3, because I suspected she never actually read anything, just skimmed headlines then claimed expertise. Diana asked Rachel to explain why she felt qualified to summarize work she hadn't read. Rachel mumbled something about experience and pattern recognition. Then Brian finally spoke up and said, "Rachel, this is the 3rd complaint about you interrupting presentations this month. We've discussed this repeatedly." Diana looked furious and said, "You've been getting complaints and didn't escalate this?" Turns out Rachel had been reported by multiple people, but Brian kept giving her chances because she was good at her actual job when she shut up long enough to do it. Diana turned to me and said, "Please continue your presentation," without interruption. I gave the best presentation of my life while Rachel sat there in silence looking like she wanted to disappear. After the meeting, Diana asked to speak with me privately and said she was impressed not just with my analysis but with how I handled the situation. She also said Rachel would be receiving a final warning and any further interruptions would result in termination. Today, Rachel hasn't said a single word in any meeting. She just takes notes quietly and actually raises her hand when she has questions after people finish talking. My coworker Louise whispered, "Finally someone shut her up," during lunch, and half the office laughed.